In this PowerPoint, we will be discussing reality testing your different career choices. So next we will discuss some interesting facts that relate to this topic. 3.2 million students graduated from high school in the 2011-2012 academic year. So that's a lot of students coming in from high school into a college or a university. About 3.4 million college degrees were conferred in the 2011-2012 academic year. We also know that the U.S. Census Bureau data showed that 24% of individuals that are 25 and older have at least a bachelor's degree, and that unemployment rates in the United States in September 2012 is about 7.8%, so around 24 million people, and it was 9.8% in 2009. So this is something that comes up, I know, and worries a lot of college students that are either getting close to graduating or even those that aren't getting close to graduating. But we know that the field and the occupations outside of college are getting more and more competitive, and the pool of candidates is getting bigger and bigger. So with 3.2 million students graduating from high school and 3.4 million people getting degrees, there's a lot of competition. So one thing that we want to talk about is how realistic are your occupational goals? So it goes without saying that it's a tough job market out there. And employers plan to hire around 13% more new college graduates from the class of 2013 than they did from 2012, and we hope that that's something that continues to grow as the years go on. So the ASU population is about 72,000 students. We're one of the biggest, if not the largest university in the nation. So what does this mean for you? So given that there's so many students, let's say that all 72,000 students graduate, that's one thing that you all have in common is your degree from ASU. So one thing to begin thinking about is what makes you unique, and how can you begin setting up your experiences so that you begin to stand out from those 72,000 ASU students. So two things that we know help make students more competitive is work and education. And for educational decisions, it's important to ask yourself, does my occupational choice involve further planning for education or training? So if you are wanting to be a psychologist or wanting to go on to be a physical assistant, these might all be things that require graduate school or specific trainings or medical school, and are those things that you want to do? So thinking about what are your feelings about your response to that question. Secondly is work experience. So we know that work experience improves your chances of future employment. So obviously, like I mentioned before, there are 72,000 students at ASU, all which are getting a degree. So what else can you offer an employer besides your degree? And if a degree is required for the job, what makes you stand out? And again, work experience begins to build that resume and begins to kind of create a unique path for you. So here are some reasons as to why it might be important to stay in college. One being that there's higher earnings, it's related to greater career options, and then there's lower rates of unemployment for the graduate population. And then the degree type also plays a really big role in your occupational choice. So earning a degree that has an obvious relationship to an occupational title will decrease the likelihood of being underemployed. So for example, if you're getting an education degree, there's a workforce for teachers, but many majors are designed for academic purposes, and it's unclear the connection between many majors and career fields, and this is when things begin to get a little bit confusing or hazy for some students. So liberal arts classes usually help you to obtain functional skills and can transfer into the workplace. So unlike an education degree or an accounting degree, sometimes degrees like psychology or sociology or communications don't have a specific occupation that they're related to. However, through these degrees, you do obtain functional skills that can easily be transferred into the workforce. So you learn how to analyze, you learn how to research, you learn how to write, and those are all skills that are needed and that make you competitive candidates. And here is a quick table that shows the best undergrad college degrees by salary. So take a moment to look at this and see if your major is on this. And here's another table, and this is outlining starting median salary and versus the mid-career median salaries. That you can see that the mid-career median salary is significantly higher than the starting median salary for most college majors on this table. So this is always important to think about. Sometimes students believe that perhaps they're going to be making close to the mid-career median salary right out of college, where in fact the starting median salary might be a lot lower. So these are all factors that might contribute to your future decisions in regards to your occupation. So take a moment to look through this. So we can break down these numbers or these earnings even further. So if we look at college degrees versus high school degrees, we see that there is a difference in the average earnings, and this is from the U.S. Census in 2009, which is one of the most updated version of it. So for college degrees, we see that for males, the median is around 60,000 and the mean is about 75. For males 25 to 34, the median is 48,000, whereas the mean is around 57,000. And you can see that it's different for females, the median being 40,000 and the mean being 45,000. Females 25 to 34, the median is 37,000 and the mean being 40,000. So we see that there's a difference between the earnings of males and females, and this is actually a topic that we will be discussing also in the diversity modules. When we compare those average earnings to high school degrees, we see that they're a lot lower. So for the males, the median is around 33,000 in comparison to 60,000 for those males with college degrees. We also see a difference in the mean, and we see that same difference for females with a median of 22,000, with females with a college degree earned a median of 40,000. So we can see that there's some benefits in terms of average earnings in getting a college degree. It's important to note, however, that the times have changed. And with that change, a college degree does not always guarantee that you will be in a high-paying job or even a college-level job. So there is a yearly oversupply of over 100,000 college degrees. And with that, that creates a lot of competition for different jobs or different occupations, and because of that, that college degree does not necessarily guarantee that you will be in that high-paying job or even a college-level job. So that's something to think about as you begin kind of going through your college experience and career here. Other options also include community college. So many four-year university graduates enroll at a community college afterwards to either get more experiences or help build their resume more. There's also apprenticeships and occupations, and these kind of have course standards, so the occupation must be clearly defined. It's usually typically something that is learned on the job, requires manual, mechanical, or technical skills, and usually requires at least 2,000 hours of work experience and at least 144 hours of related classroom instruction. So again, these are for very specific types of jobs, and there's some links on Blackboard if you are interested in this specific option. And then again, the time ranges from 1 to 6 years. So a few questions to ask yourself is, what is your strategy? How will you be different from others? And how will you reach your overall career goals? So take a moment to reflect on these questions.